What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 32 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are doing awesome. We're back again, and I thought we'd start with something just a little bit different today. We're about a month away from next year's youth intake day, but it felt like a good opportunity to come back and review perhaps the progress of some of the golden generation, as they were labelled, who we had in last year's intake. I have had a little peek at these before hitting the kind of go live and record button, just to make sure there is stuff to talk about. But yeah, certainly within our youth team, there's a lot of very exciting talent that has been improving a lot. On the lower end of things, I guess you've got players like Florian Bastide, who looks like an okay player, the right winger. If we look at his current training set, we've just got him trained to be an inside forward. He's doing okay, you know, he's not doing great, he's not doing terribly. If we look at his development over the last 6 months, slight overall improvements, you know, to a few different areas, but he's, you know, on the lower end, I guess, of things when it comes to last year's intake. But what you can see here, if we look above him, we've got 8 players here who, at least on the face of it, have a hell of a lot of potential. Now, the first one, Marcel Schmidt, is a player we signed, you might remember, this year from Dortmund. So, no improvement to speak of him yet. He's only joined the club just last month. But the remaining players here, some of them have improved a lot. So we'll look at this guy first, Karim Felli, the guy who can play defensive midfielder, centre mid, or right mid. We're currently training him to be a roaming playmaker on support. If we just look at his development over the last 6 months, you can see he's not perhaps improved as much as you'd like. On the kind of spectrum of improvement, he's actually on the lower end. You'll see when we get to the next 2 players, there's been big improvements in a few of our players, particularly Kone here, perhaps the biggest improver of the bunch. Just in the last 6 months, you can see the improvement. Slight overall improvement to his technical. I would not call this slight, mind you. You know, +1 on positioning, +1 on work rate. Dribbling's gone up by 1, and his physicals, my word. Stamina's gone up by 2, strength up by 1, jumping reach up by 2, balance up by 1. Next month as well, we'll be able to compare them to how they were when they first genned at the club, which could be kind of interesting to look at. It's a similar story with Laurie Aboul here. If we just compare his kind of last 6 months of development, you can see he's improved a lot. He is perhaps the player of this bunch who I'm most excited about. He just looks like a very, very ready-made striker in a lot of ways. His finishing and long shots could be perhaps a little bit better. You can see here we are focusing on his shooting right now. And if we do just look at that finishing and long shots, not long throws, long shots, you can see his long shots has gone from 8 to 9.8, and his finishing has gone from 9 to 10.8 in the space of about a year. Now, you've got to consider he's only 16. He turned 16 last month. I'm very excited to see what could become of this guy. He looks top draw, very, very rapid, and just improving everywhere. Anyway, a few more players to go through. Durand, another one of the players who was very, very hotly tipped when he genders being one to look for the future. He's improved a lot kind of across the board. Not overwhelming improvements, perhaps like Aboul and Kone, but definitely notable. Of course, Jean-Marc Vincent we signed at the start of the season. He's improved a lot in all areas. You can see not massive improvements, but just general improvements across the board. And that's over 6 months. If he can maintain that for the next 4 years, the level of development he's currently going through, he's going to be a top player for us. I'm a little bit concerned about his injury proneness, but he's a very, very consistent player. And he does look very, very good, the young Frenchman. Anyway, 2 more to go through real quick. We have Marc Maynard here, who looks top draw. We are currently training him, if we just look, to be a box-to-box midfielder on support. Really wants to improve his kind of well-roundedness. In terms of his last 6 months of development, you can see notable spikes in a lot of areas. And again, just slight improvements everywhere, but his mentals have improved a lot. His off the ball, which is definitely one of his weaknesses, has improved. And his physicals as well, just going through the roof right now, which is very exciting. Anyway, the last player we'll look at, Damien Papon. I like the look of this guy a lot. He's improved a fair bit over the last 6 months, as you can see. Currently training him to play box-to-box midfielder as well. He's a very, very adequate defensive midfielder. But given his kind of overall ability and his age, I just feel like there's a lot more to come from him as a player who can maybe go forward and backwards. And as a box-to-box midfielder, we're just going to be helping out with his technicals and a few other elements of his game that could do with being a little bit better. And it's also going to give his physicals a bit of TLC because they are a tiny bit lacking right now, I think it would be fair to say. Anyway, that's kind of a little update on what's been going on in the youth team. There is also Auger, who I've not talked about. Really, this guy could probably be made available for the under-19s now I think about it. But obviously, he is the hot prospect, I feel like, of this batch of players. He's the one who we brought in for £3.5 million. He looks like a ready-made player in a lot of ways. He is only just 16. If we just look at his development, in fact, we can't look at his last 6 months yet because he didn't join us that long ago, but he's not improved as much as I'd like, put it that way. So we'll keep a keen eye on him and actually maybe making him available for the under-19s or just help him a little bit. Despite the fact that I do have my assistant set to organise fixtures for the reserves, you can see he doesn't do as many friendlies as perhaps I'd like. One thing I am considering, actually I don't know, I was about to say one thing I'm considering is adding in the lower French leagues, but actually I don't think we can go as low down as the 4th tier in France. Oh, we can. Okay, we'll add in the lower leagues in France, because that'll mean that our reserve team play competitive matches from next season. It might slow the game down just a little bit, but I think that is going to be a benefit to us. I don't think we're going to see that many players, regions kind of be populated into those teams. Basically, if you don't know, when you add and remove leagues, if there is an insignificant number of players, for the teams that are being loaded in, the game will just add some regen sometimes to fill up the role, but fill up the squads. But the issue you sometimes have there is you end up with 30-year-old regens 2 years in. But I don't think that's going to be a problem with us here because I force-loaded a lot of players. Anyway, in the French Cup, that is a horrific draw as far as I'm concerned. We've been drawn against Lille, which, is a little way off. We're not going to worry about that too much. Obviously, if you've seen the thumbnail of today's video, you'll be all too aware of the fixtures coming up today. We are going to be starting off with Marseille, following it up with Liverpool at home in the Champions League first knockout round. If I'm not mistaken, the board expectation this year for the Champions League was just to reach the first knockout round. We can look at the confidence here, competition performance. The aim was to get to the first knockout round. We've done that. We'll try and go further. Liverpool are a bit blooming good in Football Manager this year. I'm sure you've experienced it firsthand if you play Football Manager at all. They have a very, very good team, Liverpool do, as they do in real life, I will say, as a completely biased Liverpool fan. And we are going to be, very much having to be at our best to beat them. You can see here, Eder Militao come in with a plea to join us. Yeah, they always come crawling back. Let's just remember, guys, the fact that he rejected a contract offer from us. So his asking price is currently 31.5 million. With that in mind, I'm going to just make an offer with a clause that's the equivalent offer. They have accepted it. I'm a little bit surprised they've accepted it. I had this dilemma last episode, as you guys know. I put in a bid for him and it was accepted. And the deal was rejected and I was kind of just like, I'm a bit disappointed, but at the same time it's a bit of a relief because he really doesn't fit in with my transfer philosophy. But he has just become available again and it is not that much money. And it is very tempting to do. I don't want to offer him as much money as he wants, though, which is going to be an ongoing issue, I think. His agent has very unrealistic expectations as to the kind of wage that he is worth. Yeah, I'm not that too fussed about that, to be honest. It's the same issue as last episode. I know you guys were writing in the comments about how I didn't need him. Completely agree. I think part of it is the fact that I want to use him at some point in Football Manager, and he's just not often available. And, he's available here now. You can see here, we've been scouting a few players with contracts expiring. Adama Traore is a player who's been thrown up as a suggested player. I like him, but I've already got 2 centre mids who I've already signed on, pre-contracts. Let's just remind you of those. Christopher Nkunku is joining us from PSG. And last episode, we secured the signing of Francisco Ramos here. 2 players who I'm kind of bringing in for free transfers and thinking I can flip them on for some money in a year or so's time. Still kind of thinking that. We'll have to wait and see. You can see Vinicius Jr., still transfer listed by request. His asking price has gone up. Not a massive fan of that. A few of the other players we were looking at who were transfer listed here. Interesting to see Arana still available. If I was to let go of either Mendy or Moreno at left back, he could be a very, very good backup. You can see here, great news for DJ. Goal and an assist in a game for Havre in Ligue 2. 2 goals and 1 assist now. for him. I'm really hoping he can kick on there. It's a level below perhaps where he should be playing at the second tier of France. But when we look at Mario Ferreira and how he's done on his loan, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm just hoping for a similar kind of result. Anyway, we're going to get into this next game. It's going to be against Marseille. Development of Trincao continues to impress me. And I mean, I'm excited by him. Now you can see our coach is bringing it to our attention, the fact that he's still improving. Really has been a beneficiary of regular first-team football. But we're not kind of just playing him for the sake of it. I think that's worth emphasising. With him, we're not, playing him because why not? It's very much a case of he is actually performing. You can see a 7.56 average rating for him. Bertrand Traoré coming back from injury still. 7.15 for him. I'm going to drop him for Trincao for today's game. This, by the way, is our best 11 preset. Now, it doesn't have Moise Kean on the team, but I'm kind of tempted to play Moise Kean after his performance last game. I don't know if I can justify starting him for him. The tricky thing is here, we're at home against Marseille. It's not a freebie. It's not an easy game. They're 10 points behind us. We could win here to go 13 points clear and have a game in hand over them, which would be huge for us. That would really put us in a concrete position to guarantee a top 3 spot and Champions League football. But we do need to be good. Memphis Depay, recent form of 7.4. See, part of me wants to bring in Moise Kean, who has been great in his last 5 games, but I think it still might be a little bit too soon. We're going to keep our faith in Goebbels as well as the striker in this system. He has been top draw since he joined us. 3 goals so far for us in the league, looking superb. And that's 3 goals in 3 as well, if I'm not mistaken. 2 of those sub-appearances were actually last year when he played, last calendar year, I guess, when he played for Monaco prior to joining us. So we're going to keep our faith in him because I feel like he has already proven himself to be a goal scorer. That was a big concern for me. I don't feel like I talked about it necessarily enough. Toussaint, are you fit enough to play? You are. But I didn't really talk about this that much. I touched upon it last episode, but with a selling Dembele, that was a bit of a risk. £60 million, a fantastic sum of money, and I knew we had Moise Kean coming in. I know that we have DJ. I know that we have Goebbels, who we've now signed. But the reality was that behind Martinez, there was not a proven guaranteed goal scorer at this level in our team. We have just crazy young attacking options. But besides Martinez, there's just not a player out there who we knew we were going to be able to rely on for goals. And the good news for us, at least initially, is that Goebbels is finding goals. And whilst we haven't, necessarily relied on Dembele prior to him leaving for him to be the difference maker, obviously it relieves a lot of pressure off your midfield when you have a striker who's banging in goals for fun. It's something that we've struggled to have during our time here, but it actually has worked very, very well so far for us, this year since we've, become reliant on Goebbels. Anyway, we are playing the direct attacking system. In a lot of ways, this has become my default now. I feel like we create a lot more opportunities than we do with the controlling system, which, in a game like this, I feel like we might struggle to have a load of the ball, whereas we have a chance here. Trincao Memphis, please. Oh my gosh, we've hit the woodwork twice, I think, there. The initial effort was by Goebbels. Trincao with the rebound, passed it across, but couldn't find its way in. But yeah, as I was saying, the direct attacking system kind of has become the default. I feel like it just suits us quite well, which might seem odd because we have obviously a great playmaker in Fekir, but we have very pacey players. We like to play the ball into space. We like to play direct going forward, and it's just worked for us. Oh my gosh, Trincao, if you score that, I'm just standing up and applauding. I mean, the good news is we've been massively on top in this game. The bad news is we're yet to see a difference maker. That was not a red. That was not a red. I'm sorry. I want to watch it back. I want to watch that back because I do not think this is ever a red card. Where are we? Here we are. I mean, he's in 3D. He has gone in with 2 feet, but I feel like he's won the ball. Man, that really wrecks our game plan for today's game. What do I do? What do I do? I feel like we go to the pressing system, but we ditch one of the centre mids. Do I really want to take Ndombele off? I don't really have a choice, do I, here? I think our best bet here is to play the pressing system. The other issue I've got is, and I didn't even think about this, is the fact that Lucas Romero was suspended, so I just swapped him out for Glenn Kamara for coverage in the defensive midfield position. But with that, we lose our backup right back option. Oh boy. Mendy can kind of play right back okay. I feel like that's our only option here, to bring in Moreno at left back and play Mendy at right back. So we're going to use a variant here of our pressing system. I'm going to keep Fekir actually on a deep line playmaker role on defend alongside Toussaint, who I'm going to play ball in midfielder on defend. We've got to be a little bit more conservative with our play here. We'll play cautious, but that's really screwed up my game plan. We were so on top in this game as well, massively so. And now we're in a spot where, well, being honest with you, it's just not a great situation to be in. Looks like our game has bugged out here. Let's hit live. That was weird. Right, half time, 0-0. I mean, we've got a mountain to climb here. I'm still going to tell the players I'm far from pleased, and I don't want to remove any more of our attacking threat. Really, this system is just ditching the mobility of the midfield. We're losing a little bit of lateral movement from the Mazzala. And in return, we're having two more defensive centre mids who will sit, and we are relying on the wingers and the striker, the three men up top, to just craft something out. They have done that. Gabels with the assist. Trincao, what a finish that is. What a finish that is. Gabels, you can see it crosses it in. It's a bullet low cross. Trincao, oh, it's Di Canio-esque. Lovely, lovely goal from him. It's his 21st of the season, allegedly. Although lots of those came in games for the reserve team in what were friendly, so we don't count those. But in the league, he has a mighty fine goal return, and he's added to it again here. Let's not get hit back immediately. Talvin whips in Payet. I mean, that's just heartbreaking. It's only their third shot on target of the game. And it's just a sucker punch after taking the lead. What I was talking about, by the way, with the tactic is, with this, we're losing the attacking playmaker and losing the Mazzano. Instead, we're dropping in the playmaker player basically to play deeper. We're losing a little bit of the movement going forward. We're very much relying on these three players, this triangle of goodness, to just use their raw creativity and attacking prowess to just, create something. Anyway, Trincao here down this right-hand side gets crunchingly tackled. Part of me feels like I shouldn't play cautious, but I'm really not sure. We'll stick with it for now. Fekir, Mendy. I mean, could we fight back immediately? Are we about to have a flurry of goals in the start of the second half? Trincao, options on ahead. Hits it! He's hit the woodwork. I mean, Trincao is just a man on a mission right now. Thunderous effort. Cannons off the crossbar. Despite the sending off, we've looked good, but we've got a set piece to deal with here. It's gone over. Maybe a little bit of a let-off. I mean, looking at these stats, why are we playing cautious? Let's play positive, not necessarily attacking. But let's not be afraid to throw a few men foot up. Wallace, nice win with the header. We might have a second ball to deal with here, though. Chanfaloglu whips in, and it's collected by the keeper again. Right, what's the fitness situation? Toussaint is dead on his feet. Glenn Kamara, get on. Toussaint coming back from that injury that has left him out, for a lot of January. And, the Christmas period as well. With him coming back, oh my gosh, Gabels, finish it. Go on. That is what we needed. That is what we wanted. Toussaint, come off now, mate. Rest your legs. Lovely finish by Gabels, might I add. I mean, what's that? What's his goal tally for the season now? Is that 4 in the league, 1 in the cup? I mean, he's looking like the ready-made replacement for Dembele, and I wasn't sure if he was necessarily going to be that, but he has proven here, with an assist and a goal, that he can be a difference maker. We're going to bring in Glenn Kamara for Toussaint, and I'm going to just demand more from the players. I've got to be honest, this is, like, if we can hold on to this game, or we can get a draw, given the fact we're a man down against one of our big rivals, a team who are very good, it would be huge, and I'd suddenly say, yes, we should be title favourites at this point. If we can put in a characterful performance here and just fight through this game. It's a tough game. It's going to be a battle even in the last 15 minutes. But if we can fight through it, I have us down as favourites. But there's a little way to go yet. Amavi here crosses it in. Munir scores. I mean, not ideal, is it? Not ideal at all. We've got one more change we can make. Depay has been poor. Moise Keane, I'm giving you the nod, son. Traore and St. Maximin, they look bewildered on the sideline at the fact they're not getting the game time as attacking midfielders. But Moise Keane, be a difference maker. I mean, he's done nothing, and the time is just trickling away here. 2.5 minutes left. I don't know if I should be saying 2.5 minutes left to score or 2.5 minutes left to hold on. Trincao, 360 no-scopes them. Bringing the ball forward here. Gives the ball away pretty poorly. Let's not over-press. But this is both of our centre mids. What are they doing? Fortunately for us, Lenglet reads the danger. Although we give it away. I mean, our centre mids have just gone walkies. Payet has the ball here. Moreno could have headed back to the keeper. Did not. Ball back post. Munir hits it. It's the woodwork. Wallace, get it away. I mean, it kind of drives me up the wall there because I feel like that's the thing in Football Manager this year. Like, those two centre mids, and in real life, two players are never going to press like that, especially when it's your two centre mids. That's just not something that happens. One's a deep line playmaker, one's a ball-winning midfielder on defend. You'd expect one of them to sit. Fortunately, it's not cost us here. It's going to finish 2-2. I still feel like that's a really good performance. I know that we probably deserved more on the night, and the sending off has kind of absolutely wrecked our game plan. But ultimately, holding on for a draw against our big rivals, who are 4th in the league, is big. And what's even bigger is Bordeaux have beaten PSG. I mean, Bordeaux, where are you in the league? 9th. 9th, and you've done us that favour. You are very kind. I'm going to issue Tete a fine. He accepted it. Good. If he'd kicked off, I wouldn't have been happy. How's Marin done? Okay, well, Dijon lost 3-0, so we'll move on. Shadas, Nim won 5-3. He got a goal to his name. I mean, is he going to be the man to save Nim? That's the question. They've won 5-3 there. Auxerre won 2-0 as well against Rennes. Gravenberch got an assist, which is great to see. I've got to be honest, I am very, very encouraged by the performances some of our players have put out on loan. Gabels again was top draw for us, by the way. A goal and an assist. Trincao got man of the match. Wasn't the best performance by his standards, but I guess I'm not going to complain about it. If we just look at... This is our best 11, at least how I view it. All the players struggling with fitness here, I am going to rest. I want to make sure we're at 100% for this next game. I mean, in terms of this team, how ready is this to play against Liverpool? There's a few players lacking a little bit of match fitness. Toussaint should be good, I think. Bertrand Traore is the big question mark, I guess, but we do have Trincao. Looking at Liverpool's team, they've got Savic and Casemiro, and I know they've got Pulisic as well. They've really bolstered the centre mid position. Clearly, you know, between Wijnaldum, Keita and Henderson, they just weren't doing it for Klopp. That seems to have been where all the money has gone for Liverpool in this specific save. I'm not sure where they are in the Premier League, but they must be right up there. Gus Hiddink sat by Rennes. I don't know what to make of that. I don't really have an opinion. Where are Liverpool? They're top of the Premier League. How are they going in the Premier League? They are tied with Man City and United with 12 games left on 61 points. And the goal difference, it's not big. Do Liverpool and City have identical records here? They almost do. The difference is one extra goal scored for Liverpool. If they had the exact same records like they do here, it would actually go to a playoff. I don't think that, well, it definitely, I was about to say, I don't think that's ever happened in Premier League history. It definitely hasn't happened in real life. I think I've seen it happen once before in Football Manager. It's a pretty rare occurrence. I think it'd be fair to say, but it's not that far off happening. Vinicius Jr. has apparently had an argument, and he's not furious about being allowed to join us. I mean, happy days. Board, can you sign him? I can't stress how important. I mean, we literally don't have the money. Literally don't have the money. His value is 10 million. Oh, I've got an Xbox controller plugged in. You can't see it on stream. I need to unplug my Xbox controller. It's using Steam Big Picture. When I click the highlighted thing. If you've ever had that, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, if you have an Xbox controller plugged in and you're playing Football Manager, sometimes it comes up with like the on-screen keyboard. You either know what I'm talking about or you don't. I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. And I know this is going to go absolutely nowhere. But essentially, I am going to try and get Vincinius Jr. to force a move. So we're going to talk about him being our #1 priority. We're then going to bid over his asking price at 15 million, which is massively below what they're asking for. I'm hoping he's going to reciprocate and be like, yeah, I'd love to join. And when he says that, we then can kick up a fuss. We'll see if he actually reacts at all. He might be quite professional about it. But we're going to try and manufacture a move if we can. And to do that, we're going to offer some offers which are way below asking price, but lock in the fees and just trying to get him to force the move. Anyway, Bertrand Traore, maximum of 45 minutes. He really needs to have an appearance off the bench. We'll play Trincao. It's not a bad change at all. Tete is going to be suspended for the next domestic game, but he can play here today. Obviously, him and Wallace are unhappy about not being allowed to leave to Juventus and Atletico, respectively. I'm a little bit annoyed about that still, the fact they've not let it go. Let's hope that they can get over it. But in terms of our team, it's pretty good. I'm not going to have Moise Kean on the bench today, I don't think. He's been a little underwhelming. Obviously, he put in that one good performance in the French Cup. Besides that, he's been a little bit quiet for us. So we're going to sit him out. I'm also going to just make him available for the... Is he eligible to play for the under-19s? Because if he is, it might just be worth him being there. Yeah, he is. In that case, we'll just make him available for the under-19s. That'll give him some regular first-team football, but we might call him into the first team here and there. Anyway, looking at Liverpool's team here, they are without Salah. They're going with Pulisic. You can see the rest of their team, Savic, Henderson, Mane, Firmino. Not too unusual, I guess. But it's a pretty good team. They're unbeaten in 8. I mean, we're at home. We're the underdogs. How do I want to approach this game? Is what I'm wondering. I'm tempted to try and crowd out the midfield to begin with and take things from there. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the 5-man midfield. It's a system we've not used so much this year. Although I could just try and control the play because we are at home. You know what? I'm going to try and control the play rather than play the direct style of play because we're at home. I'd like us to have a lot of the ball. But we'll see how things go. You know, if we're getting bullied in midfield, if we're struggling to hold on to the ball playing our possession-orientated system, we will make the necessary changes to, well, you know, try and stifle out the creativity of Liverpool. Anyway, let's see how we get on here. Early on, they've had 25% of the ball, but the issue I've got is it's only 5 minutes gone and they've got the ball here. Toussaint, crunching tackle. Henderson, edge of the box. Surely not. It was a little closer to comfort. Over the crossbar in the end, though. And, well, another chance immediately. We're off to a flyer. This is a game for the neutral, apparently. Memphis, out wide to Mendy. Can he get it in? He crosses it in. Trincao's there. Trincao scores. Let's go, my son. What a player he is. We're in the number 65 as well. Mendy on the overlap at left back. And then lovely ball in. Trincao, not known for his aerial prowess, out-jumps Andy Robertson. I mean, what a goal that is. Lovely, lovely finish by him. I mean, I don't know how Mendy's going to get back into the team. Not Mendy, sorry. Traore. Oh my gosh, Lovren's hit the woodwork. That's a warning shot. Another set piece here. After the first set piece that we just tried to deal with, I'm a little worried. Wallace heads this one clear, but only as far as Sergio Savic, who hits it. It's one of FM19's trademark long shots that grazes the top of the crossbar on the way over. Fekir on a booking's concerning. Now Depay getting a booking as well. Can we not have everyone getting booked? Tete now getting booked. We don't need 3 bookings in 6 minutes. This is playing the possession system. We've had 60% of the ball. The issue is we're having the ball, but not creating a great deal with it. At least for now, I want to stick with what we've got. Depay here. Set piece out wide. Crosses it back post. Fekir scores the header. 2-0. What a first half performance this has turned out to be. Perhaps on the statistics, you look at it, you go, it's an even game. Maybe Liverpool have the edge. We've crafted out 2 opportunities, 2 crosses to the same back post. Both times, we've been able to find the back of the net. This time it's Fekir. And, well, we can breathe perhaps a little sigh of relief. Although, given our bookings, I am a little concerned. Going into the dressing room, I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Again, I could praise them, but I don't really want them, you know, getting... what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of getting complacent. Because we've been okay. Like, the scoreline suggests we've been massively ahead. We haven't, though. That's kind of the reality of this. I'm going to also just quickly tell all of our players who are on bookings just to ease out of tackles, just because there's no point in us getting any sendings off if we can avoid it. Obviously, we can make changes if we need to, but I don't really want to change our fullbacks unless I absolutely need to. And, well, Fekir and Depay look very good so far as Fekir whips in the ball. Wallace, a free header at the back post. It was a good opportunity, which unfortunately has been denied. I mean, was that the highlight or is there more to come? That's the question. Wallace wins another header. 2-in-1 highlight, although Firmino could be through. Lenglet reads it nicely. Lopez, no nonsense. Out into touch. No. Memphis keeps it in. Drifting inside now on this left-hand side. Running with purpose. Dinks the ball over to Trincao. I mean, is this the pointless highlight or could something happen? Tete, I want to believe something's going to happen. Ndombele now with it. Lovely build-up play here. Francisco looking for a run. Comes short for it in the end. Drifts inside to Fekir, who hits it. Not far over. Not far over at all. Not a bad effort. You can see. 52 minutes gone. Another highlight. A third goal for us here would be huge. Tete, what can you do? Crossing. Gabels is there. He hits the woodwork. Can't get the rebound either. I mean, this has been a very even game. Very even. We're having a lot of the ball, which means that I'm kind of happy to stick with this possession-orientated system for now. They brought in Wilmar Barrios at centre mid. Quite a defensive option, which is curious. You can see their front line really has been poor, although set piece here. Pulisic crosses it in. Lenglet can't get there. The header not on target on this occasion. Let's make some changes. I'm going to take off Memphis. I'm going to bring in St. Maximin. Trincao has been good, but he's a little bit tired. We're going to bring in Bertrand Traore, and we'll hold on to our last sub, at least for now. You know, we'll wait it out. We'll see what might become of the rest of this game. I mean, again, I feel like this is a pointless highlight, but I want to believe. Gabels, lovely ball. Ndombele, crunching tackle. Last ditch. Had to be made. Noticing that Gabels gets very involved in our build-up play at times. You know, he's quite good at holding up the play and then just allowing other players to come in and make a run, you know, beyond him. Has been pretty solid at that throughout, but at the same time, he's looked very competent, you know, when we do need him to lead the line. I guess that's what you want from a complete forward on attack. You want him to do both. Has an effort there, it's blocked. Going to go out for a throw-in. We're going to be able to make our tactical changes. Fresh legs on either wing. I mean, you feel bad for the Liverpool fullbacks. Not what you want to see in a game where you've been worked hard out of possession. But Liverpool's still very much in this. A clean sheet would be huge. At this point, that's perhaps got to be my priority. Just to, you know, hold on to the clean sheet. I mean, if we got another, that would be good, wouldn't it? Gabels, marauding through. Tight angle, tries to chip the keeper. I mean, I admire the confidence. I mean, you cannot knock that. He's tried to chip the keeper from an impossible angle. Unfortunately, however, the woodwork has come to the rescue. Another set piece for us. Fekir crosses it in back post. Wallace is there. Wins the header, but booted away and clear. Liverpool have a lot of players in this counter-attack. Where is our defence? Tete, nice tackle on a booking. Lopez, no nonsense, please. That'll do us. Bertrand Traore, nice win. Fekir tackle, but Traore switches the play here to St. Maximin, who's fast. Hits it. I mean, it's a decent effort. I think the keeper got a fingertip to it. Indeed, he did. Was straight at the keeper by St. Maximin. Not necessarily known for his finishing ability, but it was an okay effort. I mean, we look like the more likely team to score as this game goes on, but with time trickling away, I mean, it looks like 2-0 is what we're going to have to settle for. I think we probably deserve that. Toussaint, that was a silly foul. Didn't need to do that, did you, mate? Hopefully they're not going to make anything of this last-ditch set piece. It's a free kick from an acute angle. And, well, they're not even going to get to take it. A 2-0 win, which I think we very much deserve. Great performance. Very, very happy with how that went. Just looking at it here, Robertson on a 6.0. Did not have a good day at the office, nor did the attack for Liverpool. You can see in Ligue 1, games were played here, so that's worth kind of being aware of, I guess, that some of the game teams behind us unlikely to be PSG because they were playing this midweek, but a few of the teams behind us are now playing. And, well, you can see a few of our players playing there. Lille did play a game. They remain 6 points behind us, and they've now played the same amount of games as us. Still got a game in hand on PSG. With PSG slipping up, Lille in position to fight for second. That would be huge for them. It really would be. I was half just wanting to check there if they'd been taken over by a sugar daddy, but no, they are just performing top notch. They were 16th last year. They finished just 2 places above the drop zone. You can see Nim. They've only won 3 games all year, but they've drawn 11. And it sees them in 16th. I mean, Shadas is going to claim some responsibility, I think, for his contribution. So the offer for Vinicius has been rejected. I'm going to up it by 1 million. I'm really hoping that he is going to be, wanting to move to us. You can see Depay and Mendy both can be unavailable for the second leg. It's a little bit of a concern, but we'll find a way to deal with that. We have lots of coverage at left back and left attack in mid, which is great as far as we're concerned. You can see that Liverpool game isn't until the start of next month, so it's a little way away for us. We don't necessarily need to worry about that match specifically too much, I don't feel like. Anyway, we're going to try and make a deal work here if we can, but I feel like it might be a little bit ambitious when Real Madrid wants 75 million for Vinicius and we're offering 16. I'm really, really hoping that he's going to force a move. His asking price has dropped from 75 million to 63. We'll just grind them down. By 2022, it'll be affordable for us. Ferreira back doing well for Sochaux, by the way. A goal and assist for him. That's very pleasing because he was out for a long time. Last month I think it was, or the month before. Which meant he wasn't in the first team, but it looks like he's getting back to his best. Which is kind of what you want to see, really, isn't it? Our bid's been rejected again. I mean, shock horror. We'll up it to 17.5. So we've got Rennes here, who have just sacked their manager, Gus Hiddink. They're down in 12th, so they must be expecting a little bit more than what they've done so far this year. In terms of the team, I'm going to give Bertrand Traoré the start, and I'm also going to give Depay, I think, a bit of a rest. I might even remove Depay just completely from the team for today's game and play Moise Kean. I'm going to stick with Gabels up front because he's been very, very good. I kind of want to play a rotated 11 here. We are going to have a bit of a problem at right back because Lucas Romero is still suspended. And Tete's also suspended. So our only right backs left in the team are Denea and Lala. So what I'm thinking is we'll start Lala because I think he's a better natural right back than Denea. And then we'll bring in Denea onto the bench for Marcelo. But because Denea can play right back and centre back, we probably don't need Marcelo as well on the bench. So we'll bring in Glenn Kamara to be that defensive midfielder cover that we need. Actually, looking at it, Toussaint on 91% condition. I'm going to give Glenn Kamara the start at ball-winning midfielder. He's a very, very good ball-winning midfielder, by the way. Has incredibly low wage demands. Obviously, he's not... I'm not going to claim he's in the same ballpark as some of our other players. But as a player who you can bring in a game like this and I think rely on, he's very, very solid. I'm kind of tempted to give Wallace a rest and actually start Denea for today's game. Just a little bit of rotation, keep players like Denea happy. I could also bring in Moreno for Mendy at left back, I think. Rotation is going to be important this season to make sure that everyone is kind of happy with the role that they're playing within the team. Obviously, players like Bertrand Traoré have experienced it firsthand, but at the same time, one of the biggest issues I feel like I've felt this year is the fact that when I rotate the team, the players I rotate in actually perform really, really well. Which obviously is a great problem to have. But I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you rotate the team plays really well. You're then trying to squeeze them into your first team plans after previously thinking maybe they weren't quite ready. Especially with our younger players. There's players this year who have stepped up who I did not think would be ready to step up this year. I think Trincão's obviously the obvious one. But, there's other options out there like Aouar, who I would like to be playing a little bit more. I feel like Moise Kean and Gabels I'd like to play more, but it's just how do you fit them in? Anyway, Ndombele, edge of the box, hits it. I mean, this man has developed a tractor engine of a right foot this year. We switched him, you might remember, from box-to-box midfielder last year to Mazzala this year. The difference that has actually kind of reaped is crazy in terms of the rewards we've got from it. Picks up the ball here, one touch, hits it. Lovely finish. I just want to check. Last year he got 5 goals and 9 assists. This year he's not done quite as well. I feel like he didn't get as many goals last year. Has he got some in cup competitions this year? He did. He got 2 in the cup. I mean, across all competitive competitions, he's got the same amount of goals as last season, but his assists have been a little less frequent. I do feel like we've scored less than last year, though. Anyway, we look good. We're playing the direct attacking system. I didn't bother changing it because this is the kind of game where I feel like it suits us well. Ndombele, he wants another go. He hits the woodwork. He's a man on a mission. He really is. Desperate to score more. Unfortunately, the woodwork has come to the rescue for Ren there. Set piece here. Awar crosses in. Gabel's free header. That was not far over. Gabel's is just everywhere. I'm still a Trincao fanboy for life, but Gabel's is looking really good. St. Maximin's been poor on the left wing. I think we all know what that means. Moise Keane, you're getting the nod, son. Still looking for his first goal in the league, bless him. But he is a natural inside forward. It's the role that we need him to play today. And this kind of game against a team who've just sacked their manager, they're a bit weak, they're a bit vulnerable, we've created way more chances than them. This is a kind of ideal opportunity to maybe bring him in and for him to get his first goal. We'll see what he can do for us. 62 minutes gone. Lala, long throw to Awar, inside to Traore, crosses it. Keane is there, heads it in. I mean, there you go, right on cue. Good to see Bertrand Traore returning with an assist. I'm trying to remember, were we told not to play Traore for the full game? Were we? It wasn't a classic goal. I'm not as fussed about watching the highlights. I'm going to take off Traore to be safe, and I'm going to bring in Trincao just because of his match fit sharpness not being 100%. He's had a great game, Bertrand Traore. Great to have him back in the team. It's just a bit of safety first, as much as anything. Anyway, Moreno's won the ball here. 2 goals up. We look nice. We look comfortable. Gabel's, I'd like him to get on the score sheet. That'd be nice, FM. Whips in. Gabel, I mean, he almost did score immediately, didn't he? What a stop that was by the keeper. The finish itself was not a bad effort. Just unfortunately denied by a fantastic save. Although Denayer back post, trying to unleash his inner Wallace. Hasn't quite worked out for him there. It's just dawned on me that I should have nicknamed Lenglet Gromit. Then we could have had Wallace and Gromit at centre-back. It's too late now. If I'd done it when he first joined, it would have made sense. Oh my gosh, Trincao. Decent effort, not on target. We do have one more sub left that we can make. You know what? I'm going to take off Gabel's and I'm just going to bring in Joseph Martinez. He's been a little out of the first team this kind of little last month or so, I guess. Just with the strikers we've had performing well, Martinez hasn't been called upon as much. But he's proven to be a goal-scoring threat. And whilst he hasn't contributed at all here, and the game is just going to end 2-0, it's good just to give him 10 minutes to keep him happy, to appease him, because he is going to have some expectations to make some appearances here and there. And 10 minutes, I'm hoping, is going to be sufficient to please him. But yeah, 2-0 here, great performance. Very, very happy. It was never really in doubt, was it? Let's be honest. Very happy, boys. I don't know if that was a game in hand for us or what. I haven't really been paying attention. PSG, how did PSG do? They beat Nice 1-0. Not the most convincing result for them, but I guess it's a result nevertheless. So we've got Nantes now in 4 days' time. I think we'll go back to playing our strongest 11. I'm going to rest the players who played that last game. Obviously, we rotated the team quite a lot. Was definitely in our interest to do so. I am actually tempted. I don't really want to drop Martinez. Martinez has actually done okay. Bertrand Traore. Probably fit enough now to start again if we wanted him to. Let's just do a quick comparison between him and Trincao. I feel like we've done this before. So Traore is faster. But Trincao has better physicals, better kind of vision and creativity, and better technicals. Traore has significantly better finishing, but you wouldn't know that based off just the actual performances. I feel like these two guys are pretty good matches for one another, you know, fighting it out for that starting spot. I do just wonder, with Trincao, his current contract is 3.5 years long. What his demands like? So he only wants 17,000. I'm really tempted to give him one of the massive contracts that I like to do. You know, one of the biggies. And then up his wages. You know, if we can offer him 23.5. He hasn't got crazy demands, but I want you to sign basically a 7.5-year contract at the club. So he has upped some of his bonuses, but relative to how good I think he could be, it's not too crazy. Oh, he really wants a wage after league games, up to 30,000. Tell you what, I will up his wage up to 27,500. As far as I'm concerned, this is an ideal contract. We've got a player here who I'm very, very confident, after what I've witnessed this year, is going to be a long-term kind of part of the first team. Obviously, his current wages are tiny, but to up it to just 27,000, I think in terms of bang for your buck, that is going to be one of our best contracts in the entire first team. I mean, you can see here, that's still cheaper than any other regular starter in our team. When you consider players like Aouar, for a 5-year deal are wanting £47,000, Trincao wanting basically half of that, and willing to sign that longer term deal. That's massive for us. That's kind of great business as far as I'm concerned with contracts. Just wonder if there's anyone we really need to be worried about with contracts expiring. Marcelo expires at the end of next year. Bertrand Traore's contract's up in a couple of years. His demands are just too high. Who is he wanted by? I'm curious. Bertrand Traore is a player who's been wanted by a lot of people for a long time, but has never... Has he ever had a bid on him? I think he had a few bids, but they really weren't that great. We have Nantes in 19th here. What's our following game? Just to check. It's Auxerre. They're good. They're in 7th. So this could be another good chance to rotate the team a little bit. Maybe give Gnanon a start at centre-back. Maybe also play Denayer at centre-back alongside. Tete for Lucas Romero at right-back. Mendy for Moreno. It just makes sense in this kind of game. Just to rotate things, I think. I feel like we've got enough quality to win the game. You know, we can give Olmo a start ahead of Fekir. I think we will stick with Traore. Memphis can come out, I think, for Keane. Part of me wants to start Martinez over Gabels. I think we will do that. Aouar and a few of these other players probably could do with just a little bit of a rest because they were featured in that other game. Then in terms of our bench for this upcoming match, we probably need to make sure that we've got some of the big hitters on it in case we need to call upon them. Because we've got Denayer who can play right back and left back on the bench, I'm not too concerned about having left back and right back coverage on the bench. Sorry, having ballsed up my word in there. Basically, Denayer can play right back and left back. So if we get an injury to our right back or a left back, he could easily move across and we could bring on a centre back if we wanted. So unlike usually where I'd play a centre back, a left back and a right back and make sure I cover all 3 bases with the bench, we don't need to do that with this rotated team. Fekir, I kind of just need to have on the bench, I think. I could play Saint Maximin in this game instead of Bertrand Traore. Kind of fancy giving Traore a bit more of a run out. That's the only thing. Saint Maximin just hasn't played as much this year as I hoped he would. He started the year really, really hot. You might remember. But he's been a player we very frequently, used as a sub, brought on, brought off, and we've brought him off in a lot of games where he just hasn't really performed. And you see this year, 5 goals, 3 assists. His average rating was through the roof at one point. It's been pretty disappointing, this season, I feel like. So we'll keep with him on the bench, because I feel like of all our players, he has 2 years left on his contract. I feel like he's one of the potential casualties of just the talent that we have in the final third. He might be, one of the first heads to roll if it came to it. Anyway, it's a big game for us against Nantes that's coming up. They're right down there in the league, but we'll expect to win it. I do wonder if we're going to have our game in hand come up soon. I'm going to cancel the offer with Junior and hope that he kicks up a fuss. How are we looking in terms of actual balance? See, we're at negative 1 million, which isn't great, but we have got 40 million from Dembele coming in still, which I think must be remembered. I'm just wondering with Vinicius Junior if we could do a swap deal with Wallace in it. Because Wallace wants to move, and Real Madrid were interested in him at one point. The deal wouldn't go through until the end of the year. How good has Wallace been this year for us compared to last year? I feel like he's been less standout this year. Last year he got 7.7 rating, this year 7.27. I mean, it's still very, very solid. I wonder... I mean, do I want to try it? I almost do. Other player from squad. Where are you, Wallace? Here. No, not going to happen. I don't think Real Madrid are still interested in him. I want to make one player exchange happen in this series. That's my aim. That is my aim. It's mission impossible out here. Right, Dene is actually on 88% condition. I'm going to start Marcelo. Bit of an experience. You know, he's complained and been a little bit worried about first team football. We can give him a little bit of a taster here. The rest of the team is very rotated. It's, you know, debatably a gamble, but I don't think it's much of one. They're right down there in 19th. This is a group of players who should be comfortably beating this, you know, nonce team that we have in front of us. Just in terms of score prediction for this game, I feel like this could end up being harder than we expect. My hope for this game is Martinez gets some goals, Moise Kean gets a goal. Just a bit of a confidence builder. You know, players like Dani Olmo as well, it'd be great to see them, you know, chip in and really contribute. Really, really like Dani Olmo. He has performed superbly in training. You can see he's continuing to improve now. But unfortunately, behind Fekir, we have Aouar. Romero's picked up a little bit of an injury. I don't really want to risk him through the game. I know I could, but I'd rather just bring in Dene and not risk it. We saw in that game where we had Tete injured just how much of a problem not having Romero as a bench player is. The versatility that he offers at right back and centre mid really can't be understated. It's so useful to have. Obviously, it's one of the reasons I like Eder Militao so much, because it's that similar kind of player. Very versatile players, very good technically as well, despite being very astute defensively. Nuri here with the ball. Goes back to Grujic. Now with, it's not a bad effort. It's gone over. But it was fine. It was never in doubt. Look at the early stage of this game. We're playing the direct attacking style of play. It's not really working for us. I'm going to go to the controlling style of play. They're creating a lot. And I feel like we're giving them just a little bit too much of the ball, playing direct, playing low percentage passes. I want us to just seize the game a little bit more. Put in a wiser performance, perhaps. I say all this, half-time, 0-0. Oh, I had a weird feeling going into this game that it wasn't going to be plain sailing. Looking at this is our game in hand, by the way. So this is a big game for us. It's a game we'll very much want to win. They've now got a set piece here. Evangelista hits it over. Who's not performed in the first half? I mean, Martinez. Get him off. Get Gabels on. The only issue now is I only have one sub left. I feel like Martinez is a super sub and nothing more. And even then, he sometimes misses on off the bench. So is he really a super sub? We'll call him a subpar sub. Doesn't roll off the tongue. Don't think that's going to catch on as a piece of footballing terminology. But I'm going to try and make my claim for it. Right, what can we do here? Marcelo, we need a goal, boys. Let's ease my nerves a little bit. Moise Kean crosses it. Gabels is there. I mean, I think he scored. We're going to VAR for something. I'm not sure what it could be disallowed for. It was a weird goal. It was another one of the Gabels classics. Is the goal going to stand? It is. I mean, I'm not sure what we're going to VAR here for, but it was just a weird goal. Maybe the ref just wanted to check what happened. Gabels, first touch, doesn't actually get a shot off and then kind of slide tackles and it goes in. We're not going to complain. It's a goal. I assume he was awarded the goal. And, well, we're not going to complain, are we? Lovely finish by him in the end. Inspired sub, if you ask me. Comes on, scores almost immediately. Can we get another to ease my nerves? Moise Keane with the ball in. It was blocked, I think, that cross. Going to prevent him from taking it short. Force the keeper to go long. Knanon wins the header. Now with Glenn Kamara. Aouar. Wide with Bertrand Traore. You know, he's battling with Trincão for right mid this year. He's got to put in a performance here. Otherwise, it makes it difficult for him to get back into the first team. Almost switches the player to Moreno. What can you do, Alberto Moreno? It's in good bells. Almost got his second goal of the game. Header narrowly over in the end. They are on the attack. It's nervy times here. Radonjic down this left-hand side. Ball goes... I mean, that was a... that tackle scared me. We've had a lot of red cards lately in recent episodes. That seemed very unnecessarily aggressive at right back. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Denayer on a booking. Needs to be careful. Gives it to Olmo. Could he give it to Gabels? He can. Finish that. I mean, what a signing he is turning out to be. What a signing. I mean... I'm just going to pat myself on the back for that, I think. Am I allowed to do that? Is that egotistical? I don't know. Gabels, lovely finish. Look at that. Danny Olmo with an assist. Great to see him get the assist. I love Danny Olmo. He's just so good. He can play any one of the three attacking mid positions and plays them well. Moise Keane is struggling a little bit for fitness. And by a little bit, I mean quite a lot. But, what minute are we in? What minute are we in? Right, I was going to say, but we're going to keep him on. We are going to keep him on. I'm going to take off Traore and bring in Trincão because he has got an assist. Anyway, please resume. Aouar, what can you do? Whips it in. Gnanon, back post, heads it. Keeper collects. And Nantes, well, they're still in this. You know, it's only a 1-goal margin. Definitely think there was a swinging of play. You know, we went from the direct style of play to the controlling one, and that worked really well. I think prior to that change, which came very early on in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, they'd had 7 shots. They've had 2 since we changed the system. It really has worked well. Traore to Olmo. Moise Keane, wide with it now. What can he do? Could cut in on his stronger foot. Elects not to. Ball to the edge of the box. I'll finish that. Wrong side of the post. Probably needs to hit the target there. But, well, we're still on the front foot. We still want a third, which I can only commend, really. The ruthlessness of our team. It's far too easy in Football Manager for your players to just relax a little bit, you know. Stop being as bothered about continuing to score, having got a few. I don't want that from my players. I want them to be relentless, ruthless killers. Aouar, I mean, it's not a bad effort. Better than the last one. He's hit the target this time. Maybe he'll score with his next shot. Danny Olmo tries to get it to Gabels. Not the best pass, but we're going to press high here. Forcing Nantes to go very long. And they give us away the ball, and then we just come back on the attack. Trincão, options in the middle, queuing up. Passes it across. Danny Olmo deserves that. Celebrate that like you mean it, my friend. Lovely, lovely goal. 3-0. That's more the scoreline I was hoping we were going to get at the start of the game. At half-time, when it was 0-0, I was a little nervous. Don't know if that showed, but I was worried. But we've come through here good. Danny Olmo has tucked it away lovely. Lovely? That's not a word. Or is it? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. 5 minutes left. Moreno, what can you do, my friend? We're going to go to Moise Keane. Inside to Olmo. Gabels. To Aouar. I mean, third time's the charm. Aouar gets tackled. Trincão, have a go. He's going to cross it, isn't he? Gabels hits the wood. Olmo, I mean, there we go. Third time's the charm. Not this time for Aouar's shot, but instead for our shot in that chance. Lovely, lovely goal by Danny Olmo. Gabels has been given the assist too. But yes, if at first you don't succeed, try, and try again. Falls to Danny Olmo there. Nice finish in the end. It was relatively routine. I mean, could we get 5? I'd take it. Keane, what can you do? To Aouar. To Trincão now. Aouar puts it wide to Denayer. Options queuing up. Headed away. Second ball maybe. Trincão. I mean, I want a Gabels or Moise Kean goal. That's what we're missing this game. Keeper holds on to it. Still 2 minutes left. You feel like this has got to amount to something, this highlight. I'd like to keep our clean sheet. Salah, though, through on goal. Hits it over the crossbar. I mean, apparently that was superb play by their goalkeeper, according to the commentator, for booting it, beyond the halfway line in a Route 1 play. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But yes, it's going to finish here. 4-0 it looks like. Good performance from us. Good performances all episode, mind you. Even the game against Marseille that we drew, whilst it's disappointing to slip up, it's worth noting that is one of our big rivals. They are a very good team. And we were a man down for a lot of the game. Gabels with 2, Olmo with 2. I'm a happy bunny. I'm happy. Lucas Romero out for 1 to 2 days. Kanate, is he still doing okay? He's still doing okay. Markovic doing okay too. Gravenberch continuing to play regular first team football. Danny Olmo, man of the match. Look how much he's improved. I mean, how does he compare to Aouar? There's not a world of difference between them. I mean, Aouar is definitely the better player, and they are of a very similar mould. But nevertheless, great to see Olmo do so great. And also, I need to praise Gabels again for being in front of goal. I want to praise recent form. We'll go with last game just because he was superb in front of goal again. I mean, how many goals has he got now? 6 goals in 6 in the league and 2 in the cup. That's 8 for the season. I think he's going to smash a lot of people's expectations that people had of him when we signed him, when I polled you guys down in the comments. Anyway, I think we'll wrap things up there today. Really, really good performances, as I said, particularly that Liverpool result. That really can't be understated. Next episode, we've got the games against Auxerre, Strasbourg and Nice. We might do the Liverpool game, but actually I think we're going to have a youth intake sometime between the Nice game and the Liverpool game, so that might kind of steal away my attention. Well, I haven't actually checked when Regen Day is. This specific season, it's not something I'm that bothered about knowing. I just know it's usually around the end of February, start of March. But yeah, next episode we're going to be continuing on with the league. Nice and Strasbourg we should be beating. Auxerre in 5th is going to be a little trickier. But you can see, all teams have now just about played even games with the exception of Lille. We are 7 points ahead of PSG, and we, with 13 games left, better win the league. Otherwise, we've royally bottled it somewhere. Of course, we do still have PSG to play. That is going to be a huge game. And we've also got Lille to play in the league and in the French Cup. I mean, tricky games in the next couple of episodes, put it that way. Anyway, hopefully I will see you guys for that. If you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, do drop a like on the video. It is massively, massively appreciated, guys. And, well, other than that, I will talk to you guys in a bit. It is me, Jack, and I'm out.